Once upon a time, there was a little mouse. The little mouse has short, shiny gray fur and several long white whiskers. It is a pretty and cute little mouse. This little mouse named Gray, mischievous and adventurous, is a complete troublemaker. Grandma Mouse loves little mouse Gray the most. She always saves the best food for little Gray to eat and makes the most beautiful clothes for little Gray to wear. However, Huey always takes the best food out and replaces it with toys with her friends, such as a pair of ice skates, an old bicycle, or a skateboard with only 3 wheels. So, he played various acrobatics on these things. Little Gray was wearing ice skates, sliding like lightning, but after a while, little Gray disappeared without a trace. Where did he go? He was lying in the mud ditch, groaning. His clothes were torn and blood was still dripping from his knees. After a while, he started showing off on his broken bike again. Huey stepped on the bicycle very quickly, then jumped onto the back seat of the bicycle and stood there, arms facing upwards, proudly watching the bicycle race forward. But ahead was a small river, and little Gray didn't even have time to jump down and take a turn. Fortunately, next to it was a small tree with a branch extending towards the middle of the road. Little Gray exerted his strength, jumped up, grabbed the branch, and the bicycle flew straight into the small river from his feet. Pop! The bicycle made a terrifying sound and disappeared. When little Gray jumped off the tree branch, his butt slammed hard onto the hard road, causing him to burst into tears in pain. When I got up, I saw 2 holes on my pants. Huey wanted to go home, so he limped towards it. Suddenly, he remembered his skateboard with only 3 wheels hidden in the bushes by the roadside. Huey took out his skateboard, stepped on it, and kicked his foot onto the road, causing the skateboard to creak and wriggle forward. But he felt that it wasn't fast enough, and with another push, the skateboard ran faster, and the sound of the wind echoed in his ears. Little Gray exclaimed with joy, "Oh, oh, oh!" But he forgot that one of the wheels on his skateboard was broken. He suddenly stumbled and rushed into a house. Bang! The door was knocked open, and the mouse grandmother inside was startled, thinking that a shell had shot in. The shell did not explode, but fell heavily to the ground. With a cry of ouch, Grandma Mouse realized that it was her grandson, a tattered grandson, Little Mouse Gray. Grandma Mouse was so heartbroken that she almost fainted. Little Gray realized that he had rushed into his own house and scared his grandmother. Alas, how can this mischievous little mouse become more sensible? Dad Mouse remembered that someone had said that by allowing his child to travel once, he could learn to control himself and become a sensible child. So, Father Mouse suggested that little Gray go to his aunt's house in the distance as a guest, and walk for a whole 3 days along the way. Perhaps this pair of little Grays is a great exercise. Although Grandma Mouse was reluctant for little Gray to leave her side, she still prepared her luggage for him. Grandma Mouse put several sets of clean clothes, toothbrushes, toothpaste, and of course, some dry food into the small gray suitcase. The most important thing is that his grandmother prepared a large bottle of red medicine for him, so that when he was injured, he could apply a little on his own to prevent the wound from becoming inflamed. Because Grandma Mouse knew that little Gray was too mischievous and would inevitably scratch and get a little injured. Huey bid farewell to her grandmother and set off with a small suitcase in a dignified manner. Little Mouse Gray, go, go! He walked to the big intersection and met a little hedgehog. The little hedgehog was leaning on a small motorcycle, looking very proud. He told little Gray that this was a birthday gift from his uncle. Little Gray stroked the shiny motorcycle with envy. Little Gray asked little hedgehog to ride around and show him. The little hedgehog flipped over and rode on the motorcycle, circling around. The motorcycle sang the song Toto Toto, and the little hedgehog rode steadily, looking too proud. Little Gray pleaded, "Let me ride for a while. Can I ride for a while?" "No," said the hedgehog. "You're a troublemaker. I can't lend you anything." Huey opened the suitcase and took out the dry food, saying, "Look, here are my cookies, my bread, and my sausages for you to eat. How about giving you this beautiful coat as well?" The little hedgehog wavered. He really wants to eat these things, and besides, Little Gray's coat is also what he has been looking forward to for a long time. So, Little Hedgehog lent his small motorcycle to Little Gray. Little Gray rode on the motorcycle like a majestic knight. He circled around in front of the little hedgehog. The little hedgehog was eating bread while looking at the Little Gray, muttering incessantly, "Don't run far away." Little Gray circled around a few times before suddenly making a loud cry, and the motorcycle rushed quickly towards the distance. As soon as the little hedgehog shouted stop, it choked on the bread. When he calmed down and came to take a look, the motorcycle and the little mouse were already nowhere to be seen. Originally, Zhao Hui felt that the speed was too slow to be satisfied, so she stepped on the gas pedal with all her might and flew out. Zhao Hui crossed the grassland, rushed up the mountain slope, and circled 3 times in the forest. She was so scared that the rabbit ran away, the bird flew, almost crushed the frog's leg, and almost knocked down the duck and on her way. Just as Little Gray was rushing down the mountain slope, he didn't see a big turtle slowly crawling ahead. The car hit the turtle's hard shell and bounced hard, causing Little Gray to fly out of the motorcycle and roll down the slope. The little hedgehog arrived and rescued Little Gray with the big turtle. Little Gray's clothes were all torn and his body was covered in wounds. They helped Little Gray clean the wound. Fortunately, in Little Gray's suitcase, he carried the red potion prepared by his grandmother. The little hedgehog helped him apply the medicine on his head, forehead, cheeks, nose tip, mouth, and even his beard. Next, check your body again. There are wounds on the head and neck, back, legs, hands, and even the tip of the tail, all of which have been coated with red medicine. Hedgehog and Turtle are going to take him home. Little Mouse Gray said, "No need, thank you all. I can walk home by myself." Zhao Hui carried a small suitcase and walked step by step with difficulty. Zhao Hui finally walked home, pushed the door open, and walked into the room. Grandma Mouse let out an "oh" and was scared unconscious.